everybody, this is Kristy, and I've got Brian, our Director of Publishing, here with me, and we're going to play some Sins of a Solar Empire today.
Yes.
So I'm told, actually, it's a cardinal sin, pun intended, for me to work here and have never touched Sins of a Solar Empire.
It is.
Because, I haven't, and I tried once for, maybe 15 minutes, and Brian, it scared me, and I was like, nope, not doing it. I'm like, so Sins is the only game of ours I have not played. I haven't touched it.
Well, your gross oversight will be corrected today.
To be fair, though, this game's how old now?
This particular iteration came out in 2012.
Okay, and I started working here in 2015.
That's not an excuse.
Yes, it is, damn it.
No, it's not.
They're like, okay, we want you to learn all our games, but here are all these other projects that are more pressing than Sins, because we haven't really, had to do a ton with Sins. Hi, Sick Gaming and more?
Yeah.
It works for me.
Works for me.
So am I hearing myself? Oh, shoot, I didn't mute this. That's why you guys are probably hearing an echo right now. I fixed it.
Echo.
I'm like, I should not be hearing us. So now we're muted and we should be good. Oh, there's Skittles. Sup, Skittles. All right, so what are we doing?
Okay, so that is working. Okay.
Yeah, this is the live, and that's delayed. If you look at the Twitch screen, it's going to be delayed.
Okay.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
So if I switch back and forth, don't get confused.
Since you're a nub,
I am totally a nub.
And I'm going to assume that all of those watching are not super familiar with Sins, because this is kind of a teaching exercise.
Yes.
So, okay, that's fine. I don't generally play on small maps, so
no.
We'll just do a medium, because that's what I'm used to. Random, medium, large. So, as a new player, this can be very intimidating, I grant you. But Sins gives you a ton of options to ease or increase the difficulty level to match your frame of mind or skill level, right?
Okay.
So one of the things I'm going to do is jack up...
this way, but Brian, you're getting cut off half in the frame. There we go. Now you can see Brian's lovely face.
There we go. I'm going to increase income rates, increase build speed, ship speed.
Is that like cheating?
No. It'll just make the game go... You make it so that you're not waiting forever for stuff to build.
Oh, okay.
Or to get places.
That makes sense.
It's still not a super fast-paced game. Sins, one of the things I love about Sins and always have is that it's not like, oh my god, if I can't do 1,000 actions per second, forget about it.
That's where I fail at RTS.
No, Sins is a game where you could play for as little as an hour or as long as like a whole day.
That's kind of nice. I like that variety of being able to okay, I want to play a quick game, or hey, I really want to invest myself for today and not go outside because outside is scary.
Yep.
There's lots of sun out there. We were just establishing Brian doesn't like all the lights. He comes. I'm like, I know you're a vampire. You live in Stardock's basement, but you have to come up and sit in the light.
I actually do live in the basement.
Yeah, I know you do.
So there's various victory types as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail because for this it doesn't really matter. I don't want to make it too intimidating for everyone. I am going to jack up the difficulty level. So one of the things about Sins is you can set the difficulty per player.
Okay.
So you don't have to play with everyone on mega hard. You could put someone on easy, you could put one player on mega hard, whatever you want. Depends on your skill level. You can also set the AI type, so aggressor will be a lot more difficult to deal with than these other types.
I'm assuming Fortifier is like a turtling type strategy?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Sins lets you turtle. I'll get into that stuff in a second. But so there's 6 playable races, if you will. For a new player, I suggest the Trader Emergency Coalition.
Okay.
There's 2 flavors of each race. There's 3 races. So the Loyalists are the turtle faction. So if you want to play defensively, Tech Loyalist is probably what you want to start with.
That's typically me.
If you want to be offensive, the Rebels are where to go. I'm going to be the Rebels.
I was going to say, you're more aggressive, aren't you?
I'm actually not, but for this, I'm going to be the Rebels, right?
Gotcha.
There are other factions, too, so let me... you have the Advent.
Yeah, I remember seeing that image a lot, that person. She's kind of cool.
So you have the Loyalists, which are the offensive faction here. And then you have the Rebels, which are...
They're robots?
They're not robots. They're humanoid.
Gotcha.
They are not... They do embrace cybernetics.
Gotcha,
But they're kind of like the psionic faction.
Okay. That's interesting.
And then you have the Visari, which are the aliens.
Cannon.
Yeah, it is. And then you have the Visari, which are aliens.
Yeah. Those are cool looking.
You have the Visari loyalists, which basically they just want to wipe out everyone.
Fair enough.
And they can destroy planets. And then have the rebels, which want to make nice.
Okay.
But screw that noise.
Of course you do.
So let's see.
Brian, you're so violent. Depending
on which factions are in the game and who you play as, will impact how other factions view you.
Really? Okay.
So we'll go into it a little bit, but there is dynamic politics, diplomacy in play here.
Really? Okay.
Which can be confusing to some people, so I'll try and simplify it. So I'm the tech, and here's my starting system. This is my homeworld.
Okay.
And if you select it, you can say, hey, it's my homeworld.
Oh, look at all the little birds. Or something.
No, there's just space cars.
Oh.
You can develop all the planets that you own in various ways. Since my homeworld, it's already been developed somewhat. Okay. This lets you expand how much stuff you can put on a planet, around the planet and on it.
Gotcha.
So for now, I'm going to leave that be. So the first thing I want to do is select my capital ship factory here. And I'm going to build the Ekan battle cruiser.
Okay.
Because that will let me colonize other planets.
Gotcha.
So as a first move, you can go offensive, but what works out best when you're playing by yourself is start out with the colony capital ship.
Right.
There are colony frigates, but you get one free capital ship to start the game with. It's great to just be able to go out. Yeah, normally I would be playing as Visari, but
for the Empire, apparently, that's a thing.
Since we're trying to get new introduction here, I don't want to make it too difficult. So you start out with 2 scouts.
Okay.
Which are exactly what they sound like.
You go out and
I
find
set
things.
them to auto explore.
Okay.
So this shows you, it has like the blue line there. And it's going out that's where he's going to go.
Gotcha.
And the blue line is, hey, I'm going to be phase jumping over there. And you don't know where there is yet, but you will as soon as he gets there.
Right. So that's exploration part of it.
Right. So I got my capital shipbuilding. We'll follow this little dude. So he's in phase space right now. He can't be hurt or anything.
That's nifty looking.
And then he's arrived. So you have now line of sight view as to what's going on here. And there's 2, creep dudes. They're a neutral faction, and they're protecting their turf, which is this dwarf planet. The scout's just gonna go on his mighty merry way and try and explore as much as he can before he's killed.
Yeah.
So let's see. I got my capital ship done here.
You pretty much have inevitably sent your scout to its doom.
Oh, eventually they'll be dead.
Brian's like, yeah.
It's a one-way mission. So as a capital ship, not all of them, but for this one. Capital ships can support fighter squadrons. So there's bomber squadrons and there's fighter squadrons. Fighters are great against taking out taking out bombers, other fighters, and small ships. Bombers are great against capital ships and structures.
Okay.
I'm going to use bombers.
Orwell
you can change
has asked
it
real quick, is there a pause button in this game? Can you pause all the action?
Yes.
Yes.
Pause break.
Pause break. There you go.
You can always, in single player, you can always pause the game. You can queue up orders. Don't feel like you've got to rush. Feel free to pause the game, look around, do whatever you need. All right, so I'm unpausing. So I was kind of explaining stuff, and I didn't get any ships queuing in my frigates. One thing you can do is instead of selecting your factories, just select the world, go to frigates. You can shift-click
build from there. Okay.
a bunch, basically in increments of 5.
Oh, okay.
Queue up stuff, which is what I'm doing.
So that leaves you free to do other things.
Exactly.
So you mentioned that this iteration, Rebellion, is 6 years old. It was in 2012. So when was the first Sins produced?
2008, I believe.
Okay, so 10 years ago.
2007, 2008, one of those.
10-ish, 11-ish years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
So, let's see.
And you were here through all that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's like you're old or something.
Shut up.
Brian's gonna kill me after this broadcast, by the way. So next week I'll be replaced, probably with a clone.
Yeah. So I want to get research going. Research is very important. I'm gonna pause the game right now just because things are happening. Well, we're here diddling around. So I'm mousing over here. There's 2 types of research stations.
Okay.
There's civic, which is non-military, as you think, right? So that will help you. That'll let you develop civilian upgrades and diplomacy upgrades and just general fleet upgrades.
Okay.
And you can see here as I mouse over, there's an info card along the right-hand side that gives you how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take to build, how many logistics slots it takes.
Right.
Your planets have a set number of logistics slots, which varies based on the planet type.
Okay. Can you ever increase them or no?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And then, just general hull armor stats, which is hit points and armor, damage negation. It's basically extra hit points in the end.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to build a civilian research station and plunk it right there.
Perfect.
Which you'll now see. And one of my little construction frigates is just going to go automatically and do his thing. So now that we've got that going, I know a lot of players don't like it. I create fleets with my capital ship.
Why don't they like it? Like, what's the downside or the downside?
There's no real downside. I like it because it's just an organizational thing, right?
Something to keep it nice and neat.
Yeah,
for you.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I've got my fleet going. You can see my
scouts really
have uncovered like a bunch of stuff here.
Found some stuff. Are they dead yet?
So if I hover over here, over the fleet supply at the very top, it'll tell me who's alive and who's dead. No, both the scouts still live for now.
Brian's like, I don't care if they live or not, but
So I'm going to send. Oops, wrong button. I'm going to order my fleet to Xenia so I can colonize this dwarf planet.
Okay.
Now around me, there are 2 ice planets here. You can't colonize those without research.
Oh, okay.
Now ice planets are great because they provide crystal income. There's resources are up here. If I put my mouse up there, you got credits, which is money.
Right.
Metal, which is metal, and crystal, which is crystal.
Okay.
Capital ships and some of the more advanced frigates require more crystal than metal. Crystal tends to be more rare, but it really depends, especially when you're playing on a random map like this one.
Right.
So you kind of it's great to see, okay, what am I dealing with? There's a lot of ice planets near me, which tells me I'm probably going to have some metal issues.
Right.
There's ways to circumvent that, but we'll get into that in a bit. So here my fleet has arrived. The enemy, the neutral forces are attempting to engage me. They really don't have a snowball's chance in hell, so they're going to die. I have now colonized the planet. So while my fleet finishes off the neutrals, I'm going to develop this world. So there's click develop planet. So until you develop a planet, which is like building infrastructure, as you can see, like in the blower here, it's an underdevelopment tax rate. It actually costs you money to have an undeveloped planet.
Okay.
So what am I going to do? I'm just going to develop it. Developing it twice will essentially wipe out that negative cost and start generating money for you instead.
Okay.
So that's underway.
So I'm definitely seeing the the 4X part of this. I guess the RTS, I'm assuming, is more combat.
Yeah.
When that comes into play, you haven't really fought much yet, but.
No, initially there won't be a lot of combat. So here's an enemy Vasari player.
Oh, I see.
But it's a scout, so whatever. I don't care about him too much.
If you catch him, you catch him. If you don't, whatever.
Exactly. What I am going to do is actually backtrack and take this asteroid system.
Oh, okay.
So let's see.
We're underway.
So this system has a crystal asteroid and a crystal asteroid. Not going to help my metal situation
I was gonna say,
much.
wait a minute.
But you can trade for resources that you don't have. which is fine.
Do you have to be friends with the people you're trading with, or you have other players?
No, there's just like a generic black market, which you can see up here.
Gotcha. The
amount that you can buy and sell resources for depends on supply and demand.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's going. I'm going to build another civilian research station here. Mm-hmm. And that's because in order to colonize ice planets, like I mentioned, you need research, which just happens to take 2.
Hey, convenient.
So here's a research screen. Here's Arctic exploitation. For every column here, that's the number of research stations that you need.
Okay.
To unlock that research.
Gotcha.
So the best stuff is at the end, which is really powerful, but it also requires 8 research stations of that type.
Right.
So that's kind of a strategy that players can use to just kind of screw you over. Because if they blow up your stations, guess what you lose access to?
That.
Exactly.
That's bad. Okay.
That's bad. So there's also military, which, increases damage and defense for your ships and unlocks new ship types, plus the Titans.
Right. So what are the various win conditions? What's your end goal? Obviously, I'm assuming wiping everybody off the map is one possibility.
Wiping everyone out is the way you do it.
Gotcha.
It's not the only way.
Okay.
But in this particular setup, it's the way.
Gotcha.
There are other. I'm going to pause the game again while we discuss that. So there's other ways when you can have an allied victory, which is a condition I set up.
Oh, I see.
You can see how.
Those negative?
Those are negatives.
Points? Okay.
Generally, you will not start up positive with other players. There's a bit of randomness about it, but so if I mouse over this guy, this is of Vanish's faction, so we're hateful. We despise one another.
Gotcha.
And there's a breakdown underneath that as to why we hate each other.
I see.
Okay?
So there's some actual racial inclination, it says, in faction relations.
Right, so that's like loyalist and rebel.
Okay. So it's already giving you marks off for that.
Exactly. You don't start in neutral with other people in this game. Mm-hmm. You've been at war for 30 years already.
Okay. So there's some background there.
There's some hate lingering.
Just a little bit?
A little bit of hate.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
And
really don't like you.
If I click this guy, right, so you can see, let me see. There we go. So if I click here, I can see what he thinks of everyone else.
-12 on us. Jeez.
Yeah, we're diametrically opposed here.
Yeah, I can see that.
The red here indicates that these players are at war. So we're all at war. Generally, you will always start at war unless you set up your game initially with a team setup.
So researching that diplomacy stuff allows you to potentially ally with somebody, so that's one less person you have to wipe off the map?
Yes, exactly. So if I go back to diplomacy research, there's ways you can increase it. You can send, once you get to a certain point, you can send envoys, which will slowly increase, your diplomatic stuff. There's research, so you can do outreach, which is an automatic buff to diplomacy. Okay. If you trade between players, that'll help.
Right.
So the longer you've got good relations going on, it'll automatically increase your standing between those two players. But remember, as in the real world, which is something no other game does that I'm aware of, diplomacy is not a one-way street.
Right.
Just because you want to be happy-go-lucky with a Visari
doesn't mean
that your people or that they want to be happy-go-lucky with you.
Right.
Right? Just because we want to make friends with Russia doesn't mean that Russia really cares.
Right.
And this game takes that into account. So you have to influence both your people and their people.
Okay, I kind of like that dynamic, actually. That gives, this just an extra level of, in a way, realism.
Exactly, which is what I was going for when I designed that.
So you designed that?
I did. I designed...
So where were your hands in this game? Tell me a little bit about that.
Basically everywhere from the get-go. I mean, this is largely Ironclad Games, but I was involved helping them bring this to market, right from the point where we signed up to publish it with them.
Right.
The diplomacy stuff is my design. They all, they approved everything. Right. Obviously, they had lots of input. They fixed a lot of my stupid ideas.
Brian, there are no stupid ideas.
But yeah, I mean, I helped design diplomacy and rebellion and the various DLCs.
Okay. Was diplomacy new to Rebellion, or was that?
No, that's from originally it's from the original game, Sins of Solar Empire. Gotcha. Before there was DLC, we had what we call mini expansions, and Entrenchment was one, and Diplomacy was one.
Gotcha.
Those are now Sins Trinity is what we sell them as all together. I was
wondering about Trinity.
And then Rebellion just takes all that stuff and packs it together with a bunch more stuff. Okay, so I believe. Okay, so here's something I have since this has Outlaw Sectors, which is one of the DLCs.
Was that the last one?
That was the last DLC we put out. So these guys are actually my friends. They're NPCs, but they're fighting on my behalf, and they're trying to take out the dudes here.
Gotcha.
Where the heck is my fleet? I haven't pinged it. Oh, so since I had the game paused.
Brian lost an entire fleet of ships. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, so I'm taking this asteroid slow but sure. Do I have enough antimatter? I'm going to colonize that while things are happening.
Yeah.
All right.
Brian, we haven't gotten the question yet. I'm kind of surprised.
I'm fine with it.
Everybody always asks.
I'm okay with it. No, the turrets don't move. That was a big ask back.
Really?
Back 10 years ago. Why don't the turrets move?
Well,
they don't because this was originally designed for a Pentium 1.
Oh.
I think so. It's like a 486. So come on.
I haven't heard a name like that in a long time.
Well, yeah, now we're just dating everything.
I was young, Brian.
We were all young once.
Once. It just keeps on creeping on up there, doesn't it?
It does.
So, but you're not mired in playing games for work. What do you play at home? What do you play for fun? I may or may not have stalked your Steam history.
Okay. So I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Online, Final Fantasy 14.
14, excellent. What was your class? I think we talked about this, but what class do you play?
Pretty much the offensive classes. So Pugilist is my main, and then I've got a warrior, and then I now have a samurai going.
No dragoon?
I have
Don't you say it.
I have not. I'm not at a dragoon yet. I just started as a lancer.
Okay, I'll accept that. I was expecting nobody plays dragoon. They die all the time.
Oh, well, no. Not that I can. Anyway.
I'm a good dragoon. Dang it.
Here, your capital ships will gain experience.
Right.
And will level up. So when they level up, they get more hit points, more shield points, more antimatter. But you also unlock special ability points.
Okay.
So that you start with 1. And I used it to be able to colonize things.
Right.
So I have another one now because I just leveled up to 2. So this particular ship has targeting uplink, which will increase weapons range and the chance to hit. And also Ion Bolt, which will disable enemy ships for a period of time.
Okay.
I'm going to choose Ion Bolt. Interlopers are attacking my planet, which is unfriendly. So I'm going to send my fleet back there. If I discover who that was,
I will destroy them. Was that you? Did you do it?
No. See, I'll pause again so everything gets kind of delayed. So up here, one of the things that happens is that there's a neutral faction called pirates in the game.
Feckin' pirates.
Yeah, those evil pirates. And here's their base right here. In fact.
Oh, okay.
My scouts found it, and they probably died there.
That's probably true.
So every once in a while, as you can see by this red bar, their pirates will send out raids.
Oh no!
Oh yes. Now you can turn pirates off in the options.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah, a lot of players, especially new players, don't like dealing with pirates because they will come in and they will just wipe your crap out. More advanced players view it as a way to get easy experience for your capital ships.
Oh, okay.
So once that's
a positive way of looking at it.
That's a positive way to look at it.
Assuming you survive.
On the downside, pirates are a lot nastier with outlaw sectors than they used to be.
Right. I remember that was something that...
So when they get done obliterating whatever world they're targeting, they'll just go on to the next one.
Oh, shoot.
Because, they're stealing your money
and
your resources, and that just keeps on
that's what
trucking.
Pirates do. Now, if you do they have one base per game? Like once you destroy that pirate base, no more pirates?
Well, it depends on It depends on the map and the size of the map. If you're playing a multi-star map, each star will have at least one pirate base.
Okay.
Some maps, especially some custom maps, will have like 3 or 4 in one system. Now, they don't all send out waves constantly.
Right.
One will send out a wave when this goes off. But this is bounty. So let's say you might have a ton of money, but you don't have a lot of ships.
Right.
But this player is really up in your ass, and you really just need to deal with them. So one of the things you can do, and you can see here, Corsair Armada.
Oh no!
Which we haven't discovered where they're at yet. But right now they have bounty against them, 312 credits. So whoever has the most bounty, which gets updated here, and I'm just gonna dump 500.
The pirates are gonna go after him, huh?
They're gonna start after him.
Okay.
Now, if this blue dude, the Vasari here, happens to, like, let's say they live right there, guess who the pirates are going to be coming after next?
Right.
Probably me, because I'm closest.
Gotcha.
So I might have just screwed myself for all I know.
Right. You don't know where he is.
I don't know where he is, because the scouts are dead now. No, one scout's alive.
Announced since too. I was waiting for that. We have nothing to say on that at the moment.
Thanks, Unicrack. Someone had to break that cherry. Okay, so let's see here. My fleet is underway. I'm going to build
recap,
more
welcome
ships.
everybody to the stream who just showed up. Brian is showing me how to play Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion because I have committed to Sin and have literally never played it in my 3 years here because it intimidates me.
Yes.
So, and I'm still intimidated, but at least now I kind of understand what the heck is going on.
I cry.
So,
so as you can see up here, the filthy... Probably the Vasari, the Corsair Armada.
Is that you now?
You don't know. Yeah, they're after me now. So, yeah, that backfired.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Because I don't really have the defenses or fleet set up to deal with it.
But there's no way they could know that you paid into that, right?
They don't know, and I don't know.
Right.
All I know is there's a bunch of money on me, and it's going to hurt. Okay, so...
Jortanos says, Sin's total conversion for SEO confirmed. No.
For for Star Control?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What now?
None of that.
All right, so I'm going to make sure that all these new ships that I just built are part of my fleet.
You know, Unicrack, and I'm really starting to get that. Well, I've always had that impression since I've been here. Since Sins is such a special game, and I mean, the fact that it's as old as it is, and it's still something that people talk about, that people love, that people ask about. That's enough for me.
Yes. So I'm going to get some military labs going because I need more ship types.
Right. Especially if the pirates are coming after you.
Oh yeah, they are, and
you don't have enough money to send them somewhere else, really, do you?
Well, once they're underway, they're underway. You can't.
Oh.
You're screwed. They're gonna come for you.
So does that mean they already got that guy, and then now they're coming for you? Or
well, no, what happened was that the timer ran out, and
is that, okay.
the AI got money in there, so that first target ended up being me.
Gotcha. Okay.
They'll head elsewhere at some point. Oh, see, there they are.
Avasti scum-ridden planet shaggers.
Yar. I'm increasing my
Pirates
fleet
even
capacity.
talk like pirates in space.
They do. So here I'm using my money before it gets stolen away to increase my fleet supply. So this is fleet supply up here, and I'm going to pause again. So, on the bottom of the info card, you can see fleet capacity available 3 points. Use 97, and then it tells you where your capacity is going. Capital ships always take 50.
Oh, okay.
And then frigates will vary depending on what the frigates you've got. So I need more ships, which means I need more fleet supply.
Right.
Fleet supply isn't free. You have to pay to research it, of course. But then there's this upkeep, which is 9%. That's 9% off your total economy.
Okay, wow.
So once that kicks in, and I mouse over this, see fleet upkeep 0%.
Right.
That affects all your income.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So once I research that, you'll start seeing like the amount that gets deducted.
Right.
Generally, that's not like a big deal once you have your economy up and running. But initially, this is going to hurt a little bit. Oh dear God.
Unicracken mentions the many lovely mods for Sins. Do you have a favorite that you've played? I'm sure you've been into them.
So Sins of the Prophets is a popular one.
Yeah.
Star Trek Armada is one. Sins of a Galactic Empire is good too, yeah.
Oh, Crazy Hunter was just asking about them. We are of good opinions on mods. We love that people do these mods. We love that.
The mod community for this game has always been pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Which is sick in a good way.
Yeah. Sick like good or sick like bad? We mean sick like good.
Oh my god.
I'm distracting Brian, so he's gonna die. But
I am, but I'm also going to run away and regroup because my fleet is not going to deal with this. So I'd rather just lose the planet and get it back.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're being run back out of your territory at the moment.
Right.
Okay.
For more advanced players than this, you can increase in single player. You can increase game speed or slow it down.
Right.
So there's these 2 buttons here that let you do that.
You had it up kind of high, didn't you?
Well, this is separate from. This actually increases the simulation speed, so it'll go like 2x, 4x, etc.
I see.
I'm not doing that because, I'm trying to teach people here.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, not doing well.
He lost me when he clicked start game, but I am trying.
Well, you can rewatch this.
Yes, so. We'll rewatch for studying purposes.
So, since I have 1 military station up, I can research still at Corvette, which is basically it's the impetus for this was from Star Wars, the Corellian Corvette.
Oh yeah.
So that's where Corvette comes from. When we did Rebellion, I wanted to add another ship class, but we already had frigates and we had cruisers and we had capital ships, and we were going to have Titans, which is the next step up from capital ships. But then we had fighters and bombers, so I want something in between, and that's where the Corvette comes into play.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm also going to research repair platforms so that I can start repairing my ships. They'll auto-repair on their own over time, but repair platforms help speed that up. So, let's see. My fleet's here. I'm just going to order them over. Now, since I've got that stuff researching, I can queue up building it, a repair platform. It just won't start building until the research is complete.
Right.
But, the resources are not dedicated, so you don't have to worry about it.
That makes sense.
By the same token, I can and will queue up some Corvettes.
Okay.
And I'm going to queue up 10 of those, and then another 5 frigates. And those immediately get deducted.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so you can see less fleet supply. That research finished, so now you can see the fleet upkeep of 9%.
Right.
Well worth it, because more ships is good ships.
So of everything that we've made in our catalog, is Sins your favorite?
Yeah. It has a special place in my heart.
I get it.
Because it's the first third-party game that I ever worked on.
Yeah.
And it's the first full game that I started on, because when I started at Stardock, Galaxy 2 was already underway.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. So how long have you been here again?
13 and a half years.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So, been around the block a few times.
Just a little bit. You started here before I graduated college?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Sorry. Like I said, I'm going to be dead next week because Brian's going to be like, okay, all those old jokes.
One of us will be. It's really who's am I taking with me.
Right.
Okay, so I've got the nice thing about Corvettes too is that they build really fast. Corvettes are great against a lot of things, and they have each race has a passive on their Corvette. For the tech here, they have crippled defenses.
Okay.
So for every shot, they have a chance to reduce physical damage taken for 45 seconds.
Gotcha.
Which is good.
They
also have multiple weapon.
They were 10 when Brad graduated college.
So Brad graduated in 93. I graduated high school when Brad graduated college.
Seriously? Yeah. I graduated high school in 2003. Youngin', I know. Just waggle your cane, Brian. This poor guy over here.
I don't know why I even bother living.
I know. I can think of a few reasons to bother Brian.
I'm finding it difficult. I know why. For Sins 2.
Yes!
There you go.
We have nothing to say on at the moment.
Other than it's what I'm living for.
Keep living, Brian. Keep living.
It's the only thing.
We need Brian alive. Brian
really?
does many valuable things.
So one thing,
I don't know what they are, but I'm sure he does them.
there's a lot of nice quality of life things in Sins. So as in all games, you can set a rally point per planet.
Okay.
So mine, I set here. But let's say I want all of future production to go right to this fleet. I can set the rally point on the fleet.
So no matter where the fleet is, the new
ships
ship
will automatically go to it.
Gotcha.
Now you need to be a little careful with that because if the shortest path is through an enemy planet, that's where they'll go.
And then kaboom, before they even get to you, probably.
But I'm going to take bloody retribution on these goddamn pirates right now. And I'm going to increase my fleet cohesion, which basically spreads. If you consider that the fleet leader, which is my capital ship here, is a dog.
Right.
I'm spreading out the leash, which is all the other child ships around it can now go further away.
Gotcha.
All right, so they're going to auto-attack. You don't have to micromanage battles in Sins. The AI will do it, and do a pretty good job of it. You can if you want to. We don't stop you from doing it.
Right, but it's not necessary.
But it's not necessary, and you probably won't do any better than the AI will.
Right.
Because the game is about empire management, not like this micro stuff. There are times where you can micro and save, a ship or something by using ability at the right time, but all the abilities in Sins will auto-cast.
Gotcha.
So,
just to let you guys know who are hanging out in the stream, by the way, we will do a giveaway at the end. I'm going to give away a copy of Sins. If you already have Sins, we can talk about something else in the catalog. So, and yikes. Okay, this guy says his mother graduated high school in 1984. I was born in 85, so...
Ghostbusters came out in 84.
Really?
That was a good year. There were a lot of good movies in 84.
Yeah, it's true. I like 80s.
And you weren't alive for any of them.
I wasn't. But I watched them later. I mean...
Well, that's better than...
I just watched Little Shop of Horrors again for some reason. I don't even know why, but it just...
It's not a terrible movie.
No, it's actually a really good musical, and...
Rick Moranis was awesome.
Yeah, he's so good. But, it's very depressing. Well, the actual ending is depressing. The movie sweetened it up and everything, but the actual ending is quite depressing.
And now we're all depressed.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for that. We're all gonna get eaten by giant plants. Yay!
Well, not in this game.
No, not in this game. Just shot down by pirates.
Yeah. So speaking of, the pirate counter is getting due again, and because I was the last one targeted, I'm by default in the target crosshairs again. So I'm going to dump a bunch of money against the Vanitas faction. And as you can see, it will go down as this money doesn't just go to pirates. It puts bounty on all the stuff, your ships, your structures, etc.
Oh crap, okay.
So as your stuff gets destroyed, that bounty gets collected.
Okay.
So eventually it'll go down to 0, or it could just go higher depending on what happens.
Right.
Yeah, well, you and me both, Fulgrim. And my capital ship is
Well, you don't have to wait too much longer, Arizap. It's Star Control releases on September 20th this year, so we are working on it.
How can I be of service?
Lots of busyness.
Nice.
And we will be talking about Star Control next week. No, not next week, I'm sorry, the week after. Next week, we're actually off. There is no stream next week because we close for the 4th of July week. We all get to spend some vacation time with our family and our friends, so...
Or just gaming.
Or just sit in our room and game, Okay,
Same
so I
as
bought...
always.
Steam Summer Sale is killing me, which, by the way, Sins is on sale really cheap for the Steam Summer Sale, but I bought Stardew Valley.
Oh, really? That's a great game.
It's so fun, and I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. I noticed that I was stalking your Steam history, and I noticed that you had played some, and I'm like, okay, I gotta talk to Brian about this, because I've never really played those farming games before. I never did, the Harvest Moon thing, or I only did a little bit of Animal Crossing, and I bought it 3-4 days ago, and I've sunk 15 hours in already, and I have chickens, and I'm like, they're so cute! I don't know what's happened to my life. I really don't.
Wow.
But, yeah, no, it's a really fun game.
It is. It's a great game, and it was done by one guy. One
person. I was reading that there was, and then they just added multiplayer. Actually, it's in beta right now. They just added it a month or two ago.
Yep.
And they brought a second person in who did most of the network stuff for that. But the multiplayer is pretty solid. My friends and I were playing it together on over the weekend. So we all got little houses on the farm, and the modding scene for that's pretty good too. A lot like.
Oh, is it? I actually haven't tried the modding.
Yeah, they got a couple mods. Speed mod is awesome.
Okay, so I'm going.
Star Control Dew Valley. That's genius.
We're underway.
Oh, man. You get time off, but I thought Brad was this evil supervillain who terrorizes his employees. And
he
I'm
is.
Yeah, you don't even know, man.
Yeah. You can't even imagine.
No, Brad is super sweet.
I'm
I
more
can
evil
say
than
that.
Brad.
Yeah, Brian shivs people. He's like, shiv in chat.
Not really. I don't want to get
There's
charged.
No, we're never gonna
But if you're bad, you get an imaginary shiv.
Yes, and the fist shake. Like, how dare you?
Well,
that's when
shiv.
Brian bothers to come out of his basement.
Oh, I do it over Skype. Let's be real.
It's like I'm not getting up out of my chair.
No one's really gotten me pissed off enough to actually leave my
to go yell
pull my fat ass off my chair and move.
Sometimes you have to squint to find Brian in his office because it's all dark in there. It's like, Brian, are you here?
It's copacetic.
Is that what we're going with?
Yes. So here you can see, I'm going back to diplomacy real quick here. And there's 2 players with whom hate me a lot less now. And here's one. And
nobody
we're still
likes
hateful,
you yet, though, huh?
But we were negative before, now we're slightly positive. And the reason is fleet strength and cultural
outreach. Okay.
Which I don't know I've done anything with that yet.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly fleet strength. So if my fleet is how did I do it? More powerful. They hate me. They're scared of me and respect me more. Something I forget.
Are you getting whispered by the pirates because they're coming for you next?
Yeah. No, they're here again.
Oh crap! But they're bounties on somebody else.
So if you go to the underground here, which is the pirate symbol, you can see the black market prices, but you can also see who the pirates are after and the current bounty levels. And as you can see, they're after me again.
Well, you're I don't know. You attract pirates.
Apparently I do. But I have, let's see, did they even finish? I have defensive cannons built up here. So here's the tech Gauss defense platforms, which can be upgraded, which is good. And then I also built a repair platform. So this world will hold out for a bit.
So you have defensive cannons. You know what I have? Pirate puns.
Okay.
I got plenty.
Plenty of pirate puns?
Plenty of pirate puns. Like, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
Research complete.
R.
Wrong. It's P, because without it, they'd just be irate.
These
are the jokes, guys, and this is all I got. See, I love dad jokes, but I'm not a dad, so I guess that makes me a faux pas. I am going to be dead next week. Brian's going to kill me. He's going to be like, no, I can't let this go on. This is just a travesty.
Oh, that's mine, dudes. Okay.
Come on, guys, give me your pirate puns. Make me feel better about myself. No, please make me feel better about myself. That's all I got.
So I have queued up another capital ship.
Okay.
Capital ships require capital ship crews, which is basically command crews.
Right.
That's separate from your fleet supply.
Oh, okay. You still have to pay out for that, like a percentage too? Okay.
There's a separate tech tree, so if you go to fleet logistics, this is increasing your fleet supply, and this is capital ship crews.
Gotcha.
So I am waiting for my fleet here to kill this, and they did! Yay!
That big gold indicator, is that your capital ship indicator? Or
that is a fleet.
Fleet
Indicator. And this will actually change based on the level of the capital ship here, because it's the leader.
Yeah, sure, Crazy Hunter. I can have Brian do that. They want you to describe the differences between the factions.
Oh, okay. That would have been easier to do.
Now you gotta do it from memory.
Okay, let me see what we have in this game. Jog my memory. So we have, okay, so Corsal Armada. Let me go actually to me. Okay.
Okay.
So you have the tech. I am a tech. Who am I? I'm a tech loyalist.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm a rebel. No, I'm a loyalist.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got the offensive Titan.
Oh, that's right.
So the tech loyalists are, without going too deep into the history backstory, which is both in the game and online.
Mm-hmm.
Their view is screw the Xenos, screw basically who's not tech, and kill them all.
Okay, fair enough.
Might is right. We're going to fight for what's ours.
Okay.
The rebels are kind of, let's hunker down, and make friends where we can. The Advent loyalists are, let's kill everyone and assimilate them. And then the rebels are kind of like, something, the Advent aren't supposed to be this way, so let's take out whatever is messing them up.
Okay. Oh God, what my dummy says.
You asked.
You did ask.
The Visari, who I usually play, so I know them the best. So the Visari loyalists are basically the whole backstory here. Again, trying to simplify this down into snippets.
Well, it's kind of neat that the backstory feeds into all this.
Yeah, the backstory explains a lot of why things are the way they are. So the Visari have been on the run for like 10,000 years.
Okay.
We don't know why, but they had this huge empire. They were like the dominant player.
Okay.
And then something happened. You don't really know what.
Gotcha.
No, I'm not, because I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I have guesses.
For context, Crazy Hunter asked if Brian's going to reveal what they're running from, and he's like, ah!
I don't know, but it's something really nasty, and it conquered their empire really fast. So all of the Visari are basically on the run.
So they're kind of like nomads at this
point. They've been nomads. They're like that Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay.
Their whole civilization is on their ships.
Gotcha. Good old Battlestar.
Yeah.
Which I've only watched like 20 episodes of. Hey, Island Dog!
Did you just say you'd only watch 20 episodes? Oh,
Battlestar
why
Galactica?
do you even work here?
Hey, I'm nerdy in other ways. Have you seen my desk?
Well, not in the ones that matter.
So is this a BSG marathon I'm hearing that we need to have?
Well, you do. I've watched the whole thing.
I've already seen it.
Anyway, so the Visari loyalists, they're like, we've been at war now in this system for decades, but we know whatever it is that's been chasing us is almost here, because the Visari leave beacons, and these beacons are going out.
Okay.
So they know whatever it is, and the Visari don't even know.
You're being attacked, by the way.
Well, no, that's fine.
It's
okay, so I got this
split
planet.
Brian's attention here.
And when I lose, it'll be your fault.
I'm okay with this.
Well, not that we're gonna finish this game anyway, but
I was gonna say you can just pretend that you've won because we've only got 10 minutes left, so you're safe.
It's a guarantee. I don't won.
Sure.
Shush.
We're friends, I swear.
It's humiliating when you play and you just like.
It's really hard to carry on a conversation, because these strategy games require so much thought that it's hard to play and talk and be entertaining at the same time. Which is why I'm here to just harass you, and it doesn't matter to me if you lose.
And you're doing a great job.
Awesome! Hooray! I'm a pain in the ass.
You are. Mission accomplished.
Yay me!
So I'm sending my fleet back to Xenia.
Okay. I was gonna say your fleet's going away from Xenia.
Oh, because I queued him up and he's going to join the fleet. So anyway, they're going to go back here and deal with the pirates. But to finish the original thought. So the Visari loyalists are like, we've had it. We need to get the hell out of Dodge. We've been here. We've been trying to collect resources, but this war has really bogged us down. But whatever it is, it's nearly here, and screw you guys. We're going home.
Yeah.
Or
well, what little home we don't have anymore.
Next quadrant, all right?
Right.
So
we are GTFOing, basically.
Exactly. So they're like, death to anyone who's in our way. We're collecting the resources we need, and we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
There's been a schism in the Visari, as there has been basically with all the factions in Rebellion. Whereas the rebel faction feels, okay, well, we've been at war. We're not really making any progress in recovering our civilization or defeating whatever this thing is.
Okay.
We think we'd be better off if we just work together with everyone and try and save as many sentients as possible.
Right.
So the rebels want basically to make nice with everyone and move on.
Right.
Before whatever it is happens. And that's kind of like the dynamic there.
Okay.
Now the loyalists, like as I said, they have the ability to destroy planets because they're like, screw you guys, we need resources, we're going to get them by any means necessary.
Right.
So their faction is actually geared to blowing up worlds and being able to live on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, Island Dog got it right there.
Yeah, I was saying we got the question again.
X,
Since
X,
2. We have nothing to say on that front at this time. Sorry. But we really, really love Sins. We do. We being collectively. I'm still learning.
Yeah, but you love it now, right?
I do.
There you go. That was the correct answer.
Of course it was.
Yes.
I know better. I'm smart. Sometimes.
Okay, so I'm going to queue up some more ships here.
While he queues up ships, I'm gonna give you guys a keyword to enter for a giveaway. I'm gonna give away a copy of Sins, and if you already have Sins, we can have that discussion. But Spencer, you ready, buddy? I'm gonna type the key phrase in a second here, and y'all can. Let's see. Am I spelling Vasari right? Oops. There we go.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Cool. So I'm typing the keyword now. We're going to type Vasari, and that is going to give you, you'll have to be following the channel in order to enter the giveaway. So if you're not following, please click that follow button and type in Vasari, and we will enter you into the giveaway. So, yep, please make sure you click follow before you enter. So, if you're not already following, that is. You don't have to follow again. Although if you want to, I mean, whatevs.
Annoyingly, I'm not right.
Oh. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, I can tell.
I'm in so much trouble.
Okay, so
I am a
I
troublemaker.
am teching up here.
Okay.
But my capital
I love
ships
the music too.
are-
I can hear it kind of from the headset over there.
Yeah. It's dynamic too, so as you go into combat, it'll like step up, and as you
Gotcha.
get out, it'll step down.
That's cool. It's good for immersion.
Yeah, there's a ton of music in this game. There's over 2 hours.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And if you have bought the game through Steam and got the gold edition or whatever, or just want it, you can actually buy the soundtrack separately and get all the tracks in the game, or stream it. It's on Spotify and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Once again, guys, if you'd like to enter the giveaway, type in Vasari and make sure you are following our channel in order to do so.
Need more stuff.
The lovely little heart button at the top. It would make me very happy if you followed the channel.
She says that. I don't care because she's.
I know
like,
he doesn't
She
care,
wants
but
me to die.
I care.
So.
I don't want you to die. I'm just apathetic whether you do so or not. Thanks for the follow, Flogrim.
You should play Vasari.
Sharma, the giveaway is going to be for a copy of Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, or if you already have that game, we can talk about a different game from our catalog to get to you.
I will say that I've been focusing more on the lore background.
Yeah.
But the factions do play differently. For instance, I haven't gotten into it here. Normally I would have by now, right? But
I keep making him pause to talk.
yeah, I keep having to explain things.
It's so irritating.
The TAC, the Trader Emergence Coalition, before the war, they were traders.
Okay.
So they have a lot of economic boosts. So
Gotcha.
you build trade posts, and they'll trade between worlds and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's a very economic based faction, regardless of being loyalist or rebel. That's just the way they are.
Okay.
The Vasari are kind of the opposite. They can trade, but the Vasari get their resource bonus, if you will,
Okay.
from mineral exploitation.
Gotcha.
which they can sell for credits.
That makes sense.
And then the Advent, they just kind of suck at economy, but they're very warlike, so their ships are nasty, and they have
Stronger.
a lot of psionic powers that will just mess you up.
Psionics, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
in play. That's cool.
Yep. So, I would say, if you want to get to the nitty gritty of see how each faction actually differentiates, just feel free to start a game and
With each
check
of them.
out the research trees for each. You don't have to
Yeah.
necessarily play the game, but just like to get a feel for it. On that starting screen you saw at the very beginning where we were looking at the factions.
Right.
We picked out some of the initial powers that some of the ships will offer.
That's right.
And you can mouse over and see what they are.
Okay.
But yeah, don't be afraid to experiment, and don't be surprised if you lose.
Yeah.
It takes you're not going to be great at
Right.
something immediately.
And you say you typically play Visari, right? Personally.
I like Visari because
Gotcha.
later on in the game, the Visari gain the ability to, so you can only phase jump between points connected on the map here,
Gotcha.
right? So you can create choke points, for instance, which is great. The thing about the Visari is in the late game, they have a research ability which unlocks phase stabilizer structure, and their super weapon can create this too. So there's a number of ways they can do it. But that would let me, so for instance, let's say I want to attack Charybdis here, and I have a phase stabilizer here, and I use my super weapon to like hit Charybdis. For a period of time, I can automatically phase jump from Halithersis to Charybdis directly.
Oh, wow,
I don't
okay.
have to jump through all these points to get there.
Right.
So my fleet can end up anywhere. I can be right on your doorstep.
I don't like that.
I do, and that's why I like Visari.
Do you play a lot of Sims multiplayer? Like, do that
No,
to
actually,
people?
I don't,
No?
because I hate losing. And the multiplayer game and the single player game are very
He
different.
hates losing, and I am making literally the whole hour I've been making him lose because I'm distracting him the whole time.
And I got freaking pirates again.
Last chance to get your keyword Visari in. Spencer's gonna roll. Please make sure you are following the channel in order to be eligible for the giveaway. Words are hard. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm hungry. I'm going for sushi. So, like, my brain
Ew.
is. What do you mean, ew?
I don't like sushi.
Ugh, you're weird.
One more thing I will mention. Come play Sins of the Prophets. Yeah, you keep asking me. Hey, it's been years now. Eventually, right?
I'll shove them at you. Brian, I need you to do this for entertainment value so I can stream it. I mean, anyway, continue.
I thought that's what we were doing. Why am I
Well,
up here?
yes, but if you know.
One more thing I want to mention. There's just so much in this game that I can't really
Yeah.
go into detail on all of it in an hour.
And I'm sure we'll do more at some point.
I'm
Like,
sure
when
we
Star
will.
Control calms down, because we'll be doing a lot of that.
Well, and
next
when
few
you learn how to
months.
play. The various AI factions, and you can do this too, can offer to other players missions.
Right.
So, for instance, this is just you're being offered destroy ships, destroy 5 ships of the Zon Precept, and if you do, you'll get a relationship bonus plus these resources.
Well, that's
if
kinda
you
cool.
fail it, you'll take a relationship penalty.
Gotcha.
You can actively reject a mission without taking a big relationship hit, but you have to reject it within a set period of time.
Okay.
But that's another way that
I like
you
the
can.
whole mission concept. That's really neat.
Yeah, there's various trees. So there's ceasefire, which is essentially stop shooting at everyone.
Right.
And there's peace tree, which is you're now allied. There's
Yeah.
planet vision, so you share fog of war around planets.
Okay.
And then ship vision, which is the same but around ships. And then there's various pacts you can form between factions, like give you a bunch of bonuses.
Right.
And you can form trade alliances
Okay.
and whatnot.
Awesome. Well, there's actually a really good question in the chat I'm going to ask you before we sign off today. So Upserver asks, even though the community wants Sins 2, even though there's nothing to say at this time, do you have any personal wants or dreams for a sequel that you'd really like to see if it ever did happen? Like, what would you love to see in Sins 2?
I have a long list. So Sins 2, there's a couple, without going into like a crazy amount of detail here, I would like to see more ships, but more variations of ships. I don't want to just have more units to have more units. I'd like to have another race in there, find out who is attacking.
That'd be super cool to know.
What the secret sauce enemy is.
Right.
A lot of players say they don't care about a campaign, but a lot of players do.
Yeah. I think a campaign would be a great
I would
addition.
like us to explore the lore a little bit more with a campaign.
Yeah.
One thing I feel that Sins has never really done great is multi-star systems.
Oh.
I would like to tighten that up a bit more to make that more interesting to play. Right now, I feel that it's just kind of a slog to deal with multi-star systems.
Right.
What else?
So many things.
Yeah, I mean...
Brian loves Sins. Sins is Brian's baby. You have to understand this.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it kind of is. But I think those would be like the big things.
Yeah.
Obviously, enhanced graphics, sure, because even if you say, oh, the graphics don't matter. Well, to sell a game, they certainly do.
They matter, yeah.
If it doesn't look good in screenshot or a video, I guarantee you no one's buying it.
People like shiny, and that's just kind of the way it is. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of advances that have happened, obviously, in the last 10 years since the game first came out.
Yeah.
Sins is single-threaded, which, back in the day wasn't that big a deal. But
Right.
now you're like, what do you mean it's single-threaded? It's like you
With
got to
all the
remember, it came out
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Right.
The only game that was multi-threaded back then was literally Galciv 2 and
yeah, wow.
Galciv 1. Most games were single-threaded.
Yeah.
So,
So taking
various
it to a
under-the-covers
multi-thread level would be...
technological upgrades
Gotcha.
that make sense to and then of course, the modding community, any Sin sequel would
Yeah.
have to continue the sweet modding abilities.
Right. Yeah, take a look at Island Dogs link. We are on sale. Sins and everything else practically is on sale for the Steam Summer Sale through July 5th this summer. And then also join us, not next week because we're off for the 4th of July week, but the week following for some more Star Control Origins news. And I'm sure Brian will be back again schooling me in Sins at some point or another. So...
Well, since I bet I could beat you a multiplayer,
Oh, he could
maybe.
kick my butt. Are you kidding me? I'll be sitting there going, what do I do? Like the whole time. Or I could just go home and practice all the 4th of July break and come back and be awesome. Not happening. I could pretend. So,
No, you probably kick my ass then.
I don't know about that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it. And we will see you not next week, but the week after. So we'll see you in a couple. Maybe some of our viewers could challenge Brian.
Nope.
Actually, that would be entertaining.
Well, I know I would lose.
Kraken's been inviting you.
I know, but I know I would lose.
And we don't like that. That's right.
Well, I mean, no one
that's
likes
fair.
to lose.
Nobody likes to lose. That's totally fair. So, but thanks, guys, again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Later.
Bye.